asserted that the immediate ceasefire and the truce in the Gaza Strip should be enforced immediately in order to try to protect the civilians from this genocide. To shed more light on the latest developments in the Gaza Strip, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Ambassador Raouf Saad, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good afternoon.
Sir, how do you see the escalation and the situation on the ground in the Gaza Strip?
Well, I see it from two sides. One is that, the Netanyahu government is very desperate to achieve unachievable victory in order to save its life, and particularly knowing that, ending the war will end the government there. And on the other side, that I would say the rise of the international community, particularly the peoples of the world. I think almost all peoples of the world are rejecting and criticizing and even attacking. The kind of atrocities that are taking place and the genocide that is already qualified by the international justice. International Justice Court.
Yes.
So I think we have reached the point where that even the supporter of Israel are unable to continue this kind of support.
Yes.
Not because they may not that they not like it, but rather than what we are seeing something phenomenal, that the rise of the peoples, the public opinion is rising against a kind of unprecedented war.
Yes.
It's not a war between a country and a country. It's between an army and civilians. So I think the UN, as the representative of the world, it is a bound duty
Yes.
to assume its responsibilities, and push for it. Of course, we can see that they have their own limits, because if you go to the Security Council, you'll find that 13 countries are voting in favor of ceasefire, and 2 countries, United States and UK, are vetoing against this. But that reflects, the real situation in the world.
Yes.
If you consider that the world is represented in the Security Council 13 against 2, so
Yes.
we are reaching a kind of situation that it has to be stopped. Because what has been happening will have its implications for many years to come. To construct, to heal the wounds.
Yes.
We need to forget that this war will create terrible climate implications. Because of the war and gases, so on and so forth. So the international community is standing, against the human history, to take a position that, how to not only to redress the situation, but to make sure that, that will never happen again.
Yes. Sir, actually, how do you see the importance of the UN coordinators for Gaza in supporting Egypt's efforts to reach a ceasefire?
Well, let's put it this way. One person from the UN is not the UN. The UN altogether is there to defend peace and security in the world. And it is not exclusive. Let's not take it as simple as just supporting Egypt.
Yes.
But in two ways, they are responsible to bring peace and security to Palestine and to the whole region. Second, it is recognized by the UN, by all countries in the world, that Egypt is the only country that could manage, that its presence and its role is indispensable to manage the crisis. So, and this is something, I think has demonstrated, how important of the role of Egypt, in defending humanity, in defending the Palestinian people, in defending the Palestinian case, and in managing the crisis with an extreme wisdom, and to avoid, a kind of confrontation that could have destroyed everything in the region. So they know And I think the whole, hopes are at Egypt's role, which I think we are not far from there.
Actually, sir, Egypt asserted its rejection for forcing the displacement of the Palestinians. How do you weigh Egypt's stance toward the Palestinian cause and all the developments taking place on the ground? Egypt actually is taking firm stances towards us. So how do you see these stances?
Well, I need not just to repeat what the whole world is witnessing, how Egypt has been facilitating the entry of humanitarian assistance. So this is well known, in spite of all lies and speculations that Egypt is doing otherwise. So it is well known. But I think the history will put on its record that the way, I'm not here to compliment, right? But the way Egypt and President Sisi has been managing the crisis has served so many basic things. One is that the Palestinian file, the self-determination of the Palestinians and having their own state has become on top of the international agenda. And this is something was almost forgotten, all right? And many people and many peoples and many governments maybe and many countries thought that this case is already burdened and we are forgetting about it. So this is one major strategic achievement which cannot be ignored anymore. That's it. I mean, it's there and we are faced with it, and that a fair and a just settlement should be found, right? Which is already known, and the components of the solution are there, right? That would depend very much on how wise could be the Israelis or Israel in order to ensure peace for itself and for the Palestinians. The two-state solution is the only way.
Indeed.
Otherwise, we're getting nowhere.
Yes.
Third, second, whatever. I think one big advantage that has been revealed due to this crisis, that the plan to migrate, the Palestinians or force a coercive migration of Palestinians to Jordan and Egypt is there. It hasn't disappeared. And it came to life and revitalized in a very clear manner to prove that there is a terrible, vicious plan to evacuate the Palestinian territories from its own people, repeating, what happened in 1948. So that has been, and this is a great, I would say, achievement for Egypt and the Palestinians. That is the whole world, including Israel supporters, have declared publicly and officially they are against this coercive migration. Second is that, that's how, to combine between saving a case and between protecting the security of Egypt. Because, it's not a matter of having some people put them in another territory. That could have raised very, very serious and dangerous security threats and risks. So I think this is something I would say, again, that the international community and the human history will put in record a key spot of how Egypt, with a wise and prudent political leadership, has managed to navigate wisely and with decisiveness, through this crisis. And we are hopefully that we are almost close to a settlement of where we are.
Yes. Mr. Ambassador?
Yes.
Yes. Addressing the political consultative meeting between Egypt and the Gulf Cooperation Council in Riyadh, Foreign Minister Shokri said that the crisis in Gaza demonstrates the inability of the international community to obtain a ceasefire or to put an end to the Israeli practices Mr. Ambassador, while we are just few days away from the holy month of Ramadan and we are trying to find a solution for a ceasefire here during the holy months, how do you see the situation that we are expecting to witness? Are you expected to see a ceasefire on the ground soon?
Well, according to the information, published by the media and the statements by even the American president and, other countries, it seems that there are serious attempts in order to reach a truce. However, I think the Egypt and the Palestinians and the Jordanians are fully aware that a truce, in order to allow for the release of hostages and prisoners, is not enough, because the fear is increasing there that that Israel, once you get its hostages, that they will restart its attacks, its criminal attacks on the Palestinians.
Yes.
So I think the difficulty that I would think is impeding, a final deal is how to ensure that the truce would lead to a complete stop of ceasefire, a kind of ceasefire that is final, preparing for a political dimension, a horizon to get into a peaceful settlement, for the whole issue that has been neglected for the last 75 years.
Yes.
Why Ramadan? Because it is a kind of, how to put a kind of a time frame, right? That would be relevant, appropriate, and for Ramadan, it's a sacred month, and the people will be fasting, praying. So I think this is being appreciated by Arab countries, Muslim countries, and even the Western world. That this is a good time frame in order to put a kind of pressure to reach this kind of settlement. So, and it's out of human consideration. I think the Palestinians need not only a truce, not only a ceasefire, but they need a break, to heal their wounds, to bury the people, who were killed, and to treat the casualties, and regain some spirit, and that life hasn't come to an end, and that in spite of all the losses that they have suffered, that there is a hope for a better future.
Indeed. Ambassador Raouf Saad, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you so much, sir, for your precious input and for being our guest for today. Always a pleasure, sir. Our dear viewers, now we'll go to a short break, and after that we'll be back to resume our segments in Cairo local time.
نحن جند الله جند الوطن إن دعا داعي الفداء لم نخن فداء